Okay, today is April the 4th, 2019, and right now we're looking at the western U.S. water vapor loop. We've got some weather moving in. This morning we had about 1/100th of an inch of rain, and that was in the early morning hours around between 6:30 and 7 a.m. And we can see that we've got some manipulation going on right through here. We've got high pressure installed, which is redirecting the tropical flow pattern. Let's look at the bigger map. We can see that a little bit better. And right here, this is the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We have tropical flow being redirected. There's high pressure installed right through here, and that is going to steer this moisture out through Mexico. Meantime, we have some North Pacific moisture moving into California. And right now we have no rain, no precipitation occurring, but judging by what's happening here, this is a fairly deep pocket of moisture right there. And this here is a 970 millibar storm system right here, but there's very little rotation in the vortex, and that indicates the satellites are manipulating that the pressure in that weather system. So this system is being squashed. There's very little counterclockwise rotation in that vortex. So we can see the satellite transmitters are working, and they are actually blocking the frontal system, the moisture from wrapping back into that vortex. Now right here we have a lot of moisture swinging right down into central and southern California. If you look at the infrared map, we can see the depth of that moisture. This should bring some rain tonight. Right now it's about 10 after 4 in the afternoon. I figure by 5:30 at the latest, we should be seeing rain falling as this moves in. So let's look at the southwest rainbow map. And it looks like we've got manipulation occurring right through here. Doesn't take much to manipulate weather. There's a very simple experiment you can try. Now we're expecting 90-degree weather here in the valleys on Monday. So the next time anyone out there has a very hot day, you can go out there in the backyard, go outside, and find a garden hose, put a nice sprinkler head on it so you can spray water around a little bit on the ground. And when it gets nice and hot, right around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can run that hose, turn the water up, and spray the ground real good for, a 40 by 40 foot area. Spray it all down and wait a couple of minutes, and you'll find that you'll create a breeze. A wind will begin to blow, and that's because you've changed the barometric pressure, the temperature, and the barometric pressure, and that generates low pressure. And of course, low pressure will generate wind. And this is quite an interesting little experiment that people can try out for themselves. And that's a very basic experiment you can try. Now, of course, it has to be still when you do this experiment. You can't have windy conditions. You need to have hot, dry conditions when you do this. Sunny, dry, and warm or hot conditions. All right, so just a short update. We see the weather moving in. This is a fairly deep pocket of moisture right here. That's going to sweep right into Southern California tonight. And we'll just have to see what happens. Let's go ahead and look at the, this is the surface analysis map. We can see a 970 millibar storm right here. This is going to move to the east. And right down here where we are, we've got high pressure indicated, 1,022 millibar. And we've got lows all over the place. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the Central Pacific. Hawaii is just right south of this storm here. And we have an occluded front right on that vortex. This is the storm. And of course, we're watching the center of that storm being squashed. As I was mentioning, there's very little counterclockwise rotation because the descending air caused by the satellite transmitter is counteracting that. So we have descending air being forced into a counterclockwise rotating storm system. And of course, the result of that is we're not seeing the rotation on that weather system right here. This is being squashed out. This should look like a tight spiral. We've all seen that on storms. So by tomorrow, this will be a gale, probably around 990 millibar gale. We'll just continue to squash this thing out. And we also have an installed blockade right here, preventing all this moisture from getting into what's happening right down here. So we've got some developing weather. If we go back to the surface analysis map, we can see that we have a developing gale indicated right here. We also have a low that's forecasted to shoot to the east. This is all going to come towards California. All right, so we'll see what they give us. Next, let's look at the Modus Today map, and we can see the situation. We've seen a lot of chemtrail haze the last few days. Last night, as these clouds were moving in, we saw the jets up spraying. And we can see that onshore, there doesn't appear to be much haze. Now, Los Angeles is right here. The greater Los Angeles area is right here. And then as we pan around, I don't have my tripod here with me today, but as we pan out to the desert areas, we can see that chemtrail haze. Look at that. Very thick all through the eastern California desert. All the way down through into Mexico. And this right here is the Colorado River running right down through to Mexico, all the way through here. So they're doing a lot of spraying out in the Arizona and eastern California areas. And right here we can see a lot of cloud cover. Right here over the Los Angeles area. As we pan around, we can see that there is some chemtrail haze all through here. All this gray stuff is the chemical desiccant haze, which contains aluminum nanoparticulate. All right, so there's a lot of chemtrail haze offshore, right over LA right now. When this picture was taken around noontime, there is not much to be seen, but offshore is where they're doing this. So we'll just have to see what the weather controllers give us. As I say, there's a lot of moisture moving in, and we'll take a look at that. Let's look at the Doppler map next. We can see that moisture moving in right where we were showing it on the satellite map. So we'll just have to see what they give us. This should produce about an inch of rain if it moves through slowly. We'll just have to see what it gives us. There's plenty of moisture offshore. We can see in Northern California, there's rain falling across the country. Down here in New Orleans and Alabama, there's a lot of rain, a lot of severe weather as shown. This is very severe thunderstorm activity right down here in the red, and all through the Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi area. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We have rain up in St. Louis, up near Indiana, and into Illinois as well. All right, so that's the update, and we'll see what happens tonight down here in Southern California. See what they give us. Okay, that's it.